So we're at the BMW booth here at the Electrify Expo in Long Beach, and if you're in the area, this is going on Saturday and Sunday, so if you can make it out, I definitely recommend you making it out. But for the most part, this is their iX5, and it's a hybrid, and I really like this back-end feature. I really want to point out this little tailgate pops out from your trunk, and it's just so cool to have that. And if you're a parent or something, you have a newborn, this makes it easier for maybe diaper changes or throwing the strollers in there, or heck, if you're on a little adventure and you want to take a break, cool, you got this little tailgate to pop down and just sit and have a nice little lunch, on the side of the road, right? If you go somewhere, maybe you're going to go camping, you need to change your shoes, maybe you're going golfing. There's a lot of possibilities with this one little feature that I really like, that makes me consider a BMW.
All right, so here at the BMW booth, there was a lot of action going on, and especially around this iX5 that they had. That's a plug-in hybrid, really cool product to see from BMW. Obviously, this being an Electrify event, there was a lot of electric vehicles, but the hybrid really stood out to me. And it really just had to do with its functionality. It was really clean, and BMW has been integrating a lot of really nice abstract artistic styling to their vehicles. And you can kind of see that in some of the areas within this particular model. Now, if we went up another level, the all-electric model, it had crazy bells and whistles going on, but it was like $200,000. This is a practical vehicle for a family or for a businessman. Whatever you're doing, you got plenty of room for your family in this car, and it's nice, luxurious, and it looks to be pretty dang safe. So here's what I'm talking about. We have this nice little dial right here. We have this little gem for your shifter, really clean. It's these little touches that make the car unique. And then they kind of had this wood paneling. It looked like recycled material, which is really nice to see, especially since it's an eco-friendly vehicle. And these knobs, I mean, they didn't feel like plastic. They felt like metal. It was pretty well built, in my opinion. You can see right there on the dash how it kind of had this polygon abstract going on with the vents, and then the infotainment system you're able to control with the knob. So really cool on the vent style, just to have this little switch right here to kind of control things without going through the menu and, adjust your airflow, because that is something that's kind of annoying in some vehicles. We have a little bit of leather here on the side. There was some suede. This wasn't a fully decked out model, so they definitely have a bunch of different trim levels with a bunch of different packages for a range of budgets, which I thought was really nice. This one was kind of a mid-level tier that they were telling me about, to kind of speak of the powertrain. So it's a V6 with twin turbos, really nice, robust amount of power from the combustible engine. And then it does have a small battery in it that gets you around 41 miles of range. They didn't actually speak to the size of the battery. I did ask, and I thought it was funny in the little info thing in front of the vehicle, it just said a mild hybrid battery, and I asked him, what the heck does mild mean? Because that was a very strange word to use. But altogether, I think BMW has a really nice lineup. I was kind of disappointed I didn't see Audi or Volkswagen out here with their electric vehicle lineup. So lots of fun and really cool to check out this BMW. You never know, maybe I will switch from my Audi to a BMW. Of course, Ford was out at the event showcasing the Ford Lightning and this really awesome performance vehicle that they had. This is not a production Ford F-150. I wish it was, because it looks amazing and it really makes me want a Ford Lightning. For me personally, I'm not much of a truck guy. I really believe that the truck is designed for the working class man, and I don't work out in the field and require the need of a truck. So I find it a little unnecessary for me to purchase it and to justify the purchase of a truck when I'm not going to use the truck in the way it's intended to be used. But Ford, if you made this performance truck, trust me, I would probably buy it, because this thing looks amazing. Now, Ford did have an F-150 Flash on display, which was really cool to see. And I wanted to just show off a couple things that Ford does with their trucks. They always have the Rhino lining on the inside. They always do that on all their trucks. And then they have this integration within the tailgate, which I think is really cool. It makes it really easy for you to get in and out of the vehicle. They also have, because this is a working class truck, this is an American truck. That's what Ford stands behind. They're making it for the working class man. And this tailgate has a ruler built into it that you can see. Really cool. They have these different types of areas where you can set your tools down. And then of course, since this is an electric vehicle, you actually have access to the inverter to power your tools and to recharge your batteries. F-150 definitely does it right. If you're a contractor and you're looking for a truck because you're a local contractor and you're not doing a lot of mileage, this is the truck for you. I swear, this will definitely make you stand out in the crowd because you got this awesome truck, your tools, you're going to be quiet on the job site. It's really, really cool. And then if we go around to the front of the vehicle, I had Amy jump into it because it's so large. So we're talking about our tools, and no matter where we're at, we're always conscious of what tools we have and them being secure. Well, instead of throwing them in the back seats, look at this. You can put them in the front. You can put them right up here and you're good to go. No problems. And I freaking love that. It's really awesome to see that you actually have an area to securely keep your tools. And then what else do you got up here? You have an ice chest. You can keep your drinks cool, keep your sandwich cool, keep your lunch cool, whatever you got going on. Hey, it's time to have a brewski. Cool. It's the end of the day. That's really awesome. And then around back, look how simple that is. The tailgate comes down nice and soft. And then you push this little button, the step pops out. And then if you want the handle, you just boom, pull that out. And you can get up in your truck while all your materials are. You're not straining yourself. This is making your job easier. And I really think Ford did a great job of designing an electric vehicle for a contractor. That's what it is at the end of the day, a working class American truck. But that's not all Ford integrated into this electric vehicle. They have bi-directional home backup capabilities. So let's take a look at that.
It's kind of cool to be out at the Ford booth here at the Electrify Expo in Long Beach, and they actually showcasing their bi-directional system. Now, we actually installed one of these a couple months back. If you're not familiar with the Ford home system, definitely check out that video and the installation we did on it. I have been meaning to do a follow-up with Richard so that way we can actually show you it working with his Ford Lightning, because it was a pretty cool project to do. So what do we have here is the automatic transfer switch. This is going to separate you from the main electrical grid so that way you can form a microgrid using the Delta inverter. Now, this is in partnership with Sunrun for most of the projects, but you can actually buy the equipment, I believe, either from Sunrun or from Ford, and then have a local installer like Pacific Sun Technologies, for example, install this equipment for you. It's pretty straightforward, and what's cool is you can actually integrate this with a battery. So you can have a home battery connected to this hybrid inverter, have some DC solar energy going right into it. Then you have this bi-directional charger. See, this is different than your standard AC charger that you get on a home. This is a 19.2 kilowatt charger, robust. We're talking a lot of power. AC connections up top, but then down here you have these DC connections, and that's because those go directly into the inverter when you're in backup mode. So the DC energy of the Ford Lightning goes through the inverter to power your home. It's not AC power like Tesla's doing with the Cybertruck. Tesla on the Cybertruck design is using an integrated inverter within the vehicle to discharge and pre-convert that energy for the home. It does simplify the installation because you don't necessarily require a hybrid inverter. You just need the charger connected to a gateway of some sort. But at the end of the day, it's really good to see Ford doing something like this and actually showing it off at this type of expo, because that's one of the perks of owning the Ford Lightning is you can back up your home during a power outage event and go multiple days when you integrate it with solar and a battery to this one unit. Well, of course, if Tesla's here, Rivian's going to be here at the Electrify Expo, and we have Rivian's next generation vehicle lineup out here, which is the 3RX. Now, I personally don't care for it. It kind of looks ugly, and I don't know the practical use for the vehicle. it's cool. I get that. I like it's kind of a compact off-road concept, but it's just so odd that I really don't know if it's all that practical for everyday use, because really Rivian hasn't even delivered on the fact of delivering electric vehicle charge stations in off-road locations, which is the whole principle of the lineup, is for an adventure. And I want to see an adventure car. I don't know if this meets an adventure car. Let's go around the back, and why I might say that. Because if I'm going to go on an adventure, what am I going to do? I'm going to take my friends with me, and we're going to load up our gear in the back. Wait a minute, I can't load up that much gear in the back. Okay, well, let's put a rack up on top and then load some stuff up in that. I don't know if I'd want to do that either, because now I'm losing range efficiency because I had to put this big old thing on top. I mean, it's cool, but it's just like an oversized Gremlin from the 80s. And it's like, did they hire an engineer or a designer from the 80s that developed the Gremlin to kind of bring this together? I don't know. We'll see how much people like it. I've talked to some of the people here, and they seem to kind of like the body style. They seem it's practical. Me personally, I feel they're pushing it too much in an off-road atmosphere, and it's not an off-road vehicle.
Now, I give them credit for the interior. It looks really clean, it's really simplistic, and I know they have these special things going on the steering wheel for additional controls. That'll be really cool. The metal within the seats, not a big fan of. Those could get blistering hot and literally brand you. If we look at the off-road, right, what kind of clearance does this vehicle have? It's not an off-road vehicle. It's a city vehicle, and it should be geared as a city vehicle that's cost effective for a college student or something, right? Very simple. You don't have a lot of room in the back. I get the seats fold down, but every car does that. That shouldn't be your selling point, that the seats fold down. I don't want you to think that I don't like Rivian, because the R1T is an awesome looking truck, and the R1S is a great family SUV for those of you that like to go camping or want to go to the beach or are really going on an adventure. This is the vehicle for you if you want to have something that's all electric. It has a lot of space available to you from the trunk to the frunk, and then obviously this one is showing a cool camping tent integrated onto the top rack, which I think is really awesome. So if you're a family, Rivian is something you should definitely be considering.
Well, you might be surprised that Tesla is actually here at the Electrify Expo in Long Beach, and they have the new Model 3 on display, which I really got to applaud them for the redesign on the front end. It doesn't look like a duck bill anymore. It actually looks attractive. I think they actually hired some real designers to give it a tasteful uplift on the front end, and they kind of carried that all the way through the rest of the body line. Of course, they got the Cybertrucks back there, and the Model Y and the Model S. But yeah, I think it's worth noting that Tesla was here at this expo showing off their product lineup.
When I look at the Cybertruck, I don't see a truck engineered or designed for Earth. I see a truck that is intended for space exploration. And let me kind of explain why I feel that way with this vehicle. For one, you have a bulletproof exterior that's going to keep you safe from space debris. And secondly, you have a bi-directional integrated charger, right? So you can power your space home with your space vehicle, and you can recharge that vehicle with solar energy. Really practical for space exploration. This is something we need to see if we want to achieve those things.
So we're kind of in some of the more custom area of the expo, and there's a really nice Porsche Taycan that Amy really likes. She loves pink, she loves teal, and this is kind of an abstract take on that kind of interpretation. And it looks really good. I think it's really well done on the Taycan. The body style really stands out with this abstract kind of look going on. And I gotta give credit to the wheels. I don't know if those are original, but I do like that two-tone look on the wheels. This is pretty cool. He's got this awesome lowrider over here, right? This Tesla lowrider, and then he's got his Python.
Now, car culture in California has a lot of different fields. Lowriders are one of those classic areas that the automotive industry is sadly missing in electric vehicles. But here we have this sexy vehicle, fully done, fully customized in a lowrider sense, and you have hand paintings within the vehicle. You have this custom upholstery going on. And then, of course, you got some gold pinstripes. This is gorgeous. This makes this vehicle really stand out. And it's nice to see an artist apply this to the car because they are accentuating the body lines. They are seeing something that others can't see, and they're bringing it to the forefront through this abstract art. And it's beautiful to see lowriders like this being done in the electric vehicle space. And I get it, not in a motor, but look, you got an air ride suspension system in here that's fully customized that looks amazing, in my opinion. As we moved along the expo, we stumbled across this gorgeous Nissan GTR that was fully converted to all electric. Really cool to see. I would love to have more of these kits available on the market. And then there should also be hybrid kits. So that way you can really showcase a good engine, but then electrify it. Let's make this 1932 not all electric, but a hybrid. Now, we can't talk about California car culture without looking at multi-terrain electric vehicles. Right here from Sierra, we have the Echo, and this thing can go on ice. It can go in the sand dunes. You can take it out to the track and put down some times. Really awesome product. Love to see some of these out there as a sprinter. Really cool. Now, things I wish manufacturers in this space would start doing, rather than referencing miles on how long the battery might last, it would be better to actually just provide hours. Because you have different modes. A lot of them have an eco mode, a sport mode, a performance mode. It would make sense. It's like, hey, if it's in performance mode, it's going to get 4 hours of use. If it's in eco mode, you get 8 hours of use. You're going to have fun either way, but at least you have a good fundamental gauge that's realistic for these types of activities. And manufacturers need to get involved in the racing space so we can push the limit of batteries and electric motors as much as we can. Now, speaking of adventures and going out to the dunes or going out to the track, you need a camp trailer with you. You got somewhere to eat, you got somewhere to sleep. Not all of us want to chill in a tent, right? Now, Pebble was at this expo, which I've seen this product online, and being able to see it up close is awesome. Down here, you have these stabilizers, which really do stabilize the entire trailer when it's parked. I mean, it is a solid platform and really makes sense. I've been in other trailers that just feel so wobbly, and they don't have these little things all the time. Some of them do, but not all of them. Another cool feature that the Pebble has is the ability to drive it to hitch it up. You can actually position it without having to reverse your truck to hitch up. You can actually use a remote control and drive it up to your vehicle to hitch it up, making it really easy for you to go camping and get things going. Out back, of course, you got water connections, and then you have AC and DC connections and campsite connections. That AC DC port's important because guess what? It has a 45 kilowatt hour battery integrated into it. This is an off-grid camp trailer. This is so cool, and I'd love to see more manufacturers implement things like this. I recently went and looked at other trailers, and I was a bit underwhelmed by their real off-grid capabilities. They were pretty basic, and they weren't going to really power anything all that meaningful outside of the trailer. If we're going to have e-bikes and multi-terrain electric vehicles, and we want to take our family to different places, sure, electric trucks don't have that great of a range right now, but having a camp trailer that is fully electric, that has robust storage capacity and onboard power capabilities. Now, speaking to the interior of Pebble, I appreciate the minimalist approach they made and the eco-friendly materials being used. It really felt urban, but very clean. It was very nice. It didn't feel like a product that was wasteful. And they had these nice little buttons integrated into the various cabinets and drawers that functioned for locking them, so they're secure when you're driving the trailer around. The bathroom within the trailer was pretty nice. Look at how clean this looks. It feels like you're at a hotel, right? Nice big shower to stand up and rinse off in. You have your toilet right there. You got your sink right there. There's not much you need when you're out enjoying the world. And that's what they really did well at. The glass paneling also can go opaque just by the flip of a switch. You have this really nice front area where the bed is, the induction cooktop, you have a sink, perfect little pop out if you're just hanging out at the campsite. If this is something that really speaks to you, I encourage you to check out their website. Now, this was an awesome program we stumbled across, and it had to do with electrifying your education. This is something I would love to see public schools implement at the local level, because this is something preparing the next generation for, and it's in reference to the infrastructure, it's in reference to electric vehicle maintenance. There's a lot of cool things that a program like this can do. I remember taking shop when I was in high school, and it was so much fun.
We have this full functioning program where students collect data now using MATLAB on their cell phones. So they first start off their freshman year by building a robot, driving it around campus, where they're collecting the mathematical data, seeing how velocity changes based upon their movement. Sophomore, junior year, they're building this big electric vehicle where they then get to drive it and do the collecting of the data again, seeing how it functions now at a higher level. And then during senior year, the kids have the opportunity to take our aerospace engineering course. And the kids just get this incredible hands-on experience to do some powerful things while in high school, connected to all types of engineering, from mechanical engineering to electrical engineering and to even aerospace engineering. So it's just a powerful program. These girls are part of our GEMS at Cabrillo, called our Girls of Engineering, Math, and Science. So it's a club that we run where they actually get professionally mentored by various professional women in the Southern California area. We've actually helped multiple schools get developed in this kind of way by connecting them with business partners, because that's really the only way to do it, is through business partners. Long Beach Unified does pay for certain parts of it, especially if it's like a field trip to get a bus or something like that to go to some of these events. But when you're talking about giving the kids the experiences of the projects, a lot of that's coming from the corporate sponsors themselves. And if there is anybody interested, they can reach out to me at kfisher@lbschools.net. That's KFISHER at LB Long Beach Schools.net. And you can look at what we do on our Instagram page at Cabrillo Engineering. Look us up and see the amazing things that we're doing.
Well, we're getting to the end of the video, and I kind of wanted to just touch on a couple random products we stumbled across. This looks super fun, like a little beach cruiser or even a wine cruiser. If you live in wine country and you could rent one of these and go from winery to winery with your friends, it just looked like a ton of fun. And it's really nice to see EVs like this. Of course, if you have an electric vehicle, you're going to need to charge it. And Leviton was out there showcasing their residential charger and their commercial charger for businesses. So it was really nice to talk to Will and to get a good idea of what Leviton's deploying in the space. It's really nice to see different products available for different industries. And that's what we need if we want to electrify America: AC charging. Of course, Kawasaki was out there showcasing some of their BMX bikes. I used to BMX. I eventually got into skateboarding, which I fell in love with, and really stand behind the skateboard industry. But these looked like a lot of fun. I would really like to see BMX events with these types of pedal assist motors. Of course, I got to try out the Evolve skateboard, which was a lot of fun. This is something I really enjoyed. Longboarding isn't what I typically did. I was a street skater, and I primarily jumped down big flights of stairs. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed every part of that. But longboarding is part of skateboarding, and it was a lot of fun. It's really cool to just kind of cruise around from location to location. This is something you can do at the beach. Obviously, we're in Long Beach, or you could do it in the wine country. This would be so much fun to do that. I really hope you enjoyed watching this week's video. It was a lot of fun to go out there and to check out the electric vehicles coming to market and see these various products making their way from e-bikes to scooters to skateboards. And if it's something you're passionate about, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because I will be reviewing more of these later this year.